Hello everybody, my name is Mathias and today we're gonna take you through a small demo of the Machinery Industry Expert Solutions. A short intro about me, my name is Mathias, I work here at Lime as an account manager and I'm specializing within the machine industry. So let's take you through the agenda. We're gonna first take a small look on the common challenges in the machine companies face. Then we're gonna take a small look at what we mean with Lime CRM for the machinery industry. And at last, we're gonna take a small look at the demo. And here specifically, we're gonna go through how a workflow for the sales representative for machinery companies, the sales manager, the service manager, and of course, the field service representative. And of course, there are more functions here, but these four here are the four main ones that we're going to focus on this short webinar. All right, everybody, let's get started. Let's start a little bit about talking about the common challenges that the machinery companies face. So the first one usually is that there are a lot of information islands, with that meaning that information are usually spread across Excel, Outlook, the ERP, notebooks, CRM, often the field service management system, SharePoint, etc., 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 and quite often at the heads of the sales rep and the notebooks, etc. So there is not one common place where you can gather information. The second one is that we are usually lacking customer insights, which leads us to not being able to properly serve our customers or follow up on quotes, follow up on the service agreements, and be proactive about it. And that hangs a lot with challenge number one here. Now, the third one is that sales, service, and aftermarket do not work as one team. They usually have their own departments, they work in their own systems and in silos. But for the customer, it doesn't really matter. They want one, we work as one company and we have to have one way of communicating out with the customers. The fourth challenge is a lot of machinery companies are still working very, very reactively instead of being more proactive outside. It could be as easy as just being reactive and following up quotes or guarantees expiring, so service agreement or doing services. And the last challenge that a lot of machinery companies face is they have difficulties adapting to new systems, programs, workflows. What does that really mean? That means that a lot of people in these companies have been working here for years and years and years, so they're not willing to change. But if we put in place the correct systems, this can help them change as well. All right. Let's now take a small look about what is Lime CRM for the machinery industry. So in short, it's basically sales, aftermarket, and service all working together. When we talk about sales, we can talk about pipeline management, a sales process, an ERP integration, leads from your web page, KPIs, quotes, etc., etc. When it comes to service, we do the entire process from inbox to creating a ticket, then the help desk process, the work order, doing the service, being out on the customer with work orders, customer portals, etc. And for the aftermarket, we're talking about campaigns, we're talking about marketing automation, events, service, newsletter, communicating out to the customer, but also doing the aftermarket work, as for example, doing the upselling of parts, for example. And also these three together are in the same system with the same customer overview. They're not sitting in each and one on their own systems. They're all working at the same one. And we're going to take a look now on a couple of workflows for this. So the first one we're going to take a look at is the sales representative. Now here we're going to go from how a typical sales representative works in Lime, from how they get a daily review over their activities and the most important tasks already on their way to work, being able to act on this information, process and prioritize, get a full customer picture, send out quotations really easy, fast, and of course find new prospects and leads, and then work more proactively. And of course, impress with excellent customer care. So this is the first workflow we're going to take a look at. So now we are sitting in Lime CRM in the dashboard. So the first thing the sales representative will get a look at is what's in it for me today. Where are my goals? What do I need to do to prioritize my day? And of course, this may vary from organization to organization and from role to role. For example, the sales manager would maybe want to have another dashboard than, for example, the service manager or the field service representative. But let's again focus on the sales representative. Now, as a sales representative, you want to know, all right, how am I in comparing to my budget, my activities, my goals, of course. But up here on the top, we have what we call the info tiles. The info tiles are kind of like a notification on what you have to focus on or work proactively on. A little bit about this later on in the demo. And for the sales representative, the most important part is, okay, what do I have to, which quotes do I have to follow up today? What do I have to do? And that we can see in a few different ways. But quite often we just start with how to do's. So here I can see that I have to follow up a quote, and I just press on the to do, and I get all the information I need about this to do. So I know I'm going to have to follow up a quote. I know the customer, I know the person, I know the deal, and of course, I have all of the company history in one place. And why is that important as a sales representative? I can easily see if somebody else has been in contact with my customer. Maybe they talked with their inside sales representative. Maybe they talked with the field service representative. Everything will be here instead of me having to call the service manager and ask who had a service at this customer here last. And then they will tell me, it was probably Mathias who had it. And then I have to call Mathias and ask, did they say anything about X, Y, Z? How is the status, etc. Everything will be gathered here. So here we have to follow up the quote. So let's take a look on what we have said with the company. So here I can easily jump back into the company and just put it in full screen. And now we are looking at the complete overview of the company. So here we are at Äge MTC, and the company card is divided into three pieces. One is the overview part, where we have information that we need about the customer. Now, that may be information like the company's name, the phone number, the addresses, and we can have other types of classification, as for example, we will get information from the ERP system, or if we want to categorize it as we want. This is fully customizable. The second part here is the history notes that we already took a small look at, but here is everything that we have communicated with the customer will be added under the history notes. And the third part are the related objects to this customer. So for example, we have the overview over the contact persons working for this company, our to-dos, our deals that we want to focus on, documents, and of course, which machines they own or how many agreements we have with them, etc. And this is always, of course, always customizable to suit your own needs as a customer. But here, let's take a look. We wanted to work on the new quote on the leasing agreement. So if I take a closer look to this one here, now we are in the deal card. And here I can see the history notes specifically about this deal here. So we know we have talked with the customers. I can follow easily the sales process. And of course, I know who is responsible for this one. But let's take a closer look to it. So here as a sales representative, this is where I want to be working, on the sales opportunities. So now this customer here may be wanting a new quote. So let's add a couple of machines that we know we have talked with the customer about and that we have on the on our storage. That we know that we have a few available. So here I can segment, for example, which kind of machines I want. So I know that he wants an offer for the Hacker machine, And of course, he would like one of the Toro parts as well. And here I can add some discount. I know that we talked about having a discount for 100,000 here, and this one is gonna be full price. So let's save this. Now here, as you can see, I've added 2 machines into this quote. But I can, for example, use to send out a quote or get information from the machine card when I want to create a quotation. Because in Lime, I can easily select from a template. And as soon as I fix this one here, so quote, machine, and of course, it's gonna be a quote. So let's create this one. So this is how easily I can create a quote. And of course, I can go in and edit this if I want to. It's just a Word file, I mean. And when I'm done and happy with this, I'm just gonna easily just send it for signing. I'm gonna choose the document I want to send, choose the recipients, and of course send a message. So here I have please sign the quote. I can have a nice message for him here, and of course I can choose if I want bank ID as well, and just easily send it to the customer. Now they're gonna get an email, go through the document, signed it, and then everyone will be happy without me needing to send an email or anything like that. And of course, all the history notes are saved here. So let's now assume that we just managed to get agreement. So we won this one. So very nice. So what did we win? Good relation. I can just say that. I'm sorry. There we go. And now we also did talk with the customer about adding a service agreement to the machine. So let me show you how easy this one is here. So over here, I just open the machine card, and on the machine card we have information about, for example, the name of the machine, the serial number if you want that, manufacturer, etc., etc. And you can choose, of course, what kind of information you want here. And now let's just create a new service agreement for the machine. I just press the button, select service agreement. It will start today and it will end in actually in 2023, the same date. It's gonna be a year long. And we have a termination date they have to tell us by February 1st. And just like that, now we have created a service agreement. And what we have done now is that we checked out all the information about the customer in the company card. We checked out the deal that we have on the company card. And of course, we followed the sales process. We created a quote, we followed up, we signed the deal, and of course, added a service agreement where the sales manager or the sales representative can follow up on. All that with one easy flow to follow to. So this was one very short introduction on how the sales rep work in Lime. So now let's take a small look on how the sales manager can work at Lime. So for the sales manager, it's quite important that they usually follow up on how does the pipe look? How do we look for the next, how is the forecast looking for the next 2 or 3 months? And where do we have to focus on our activities? And in Lime, all the objects can be shown as a table. So for the sales manager, it's quite important that they, of course, use the dashboards to see the forecast, etc. But we want to act on the information that we have. So let's take a look at the pipe. So in Lime, everything can be shown into tables. The table it's quite a known thing. It's like most of you are already using some kind of a pipeline in Excel or in your ERP, etc. And it kind of looks the same way. It's built the same way, where we have columns and rows with information. So for the sales manager, maybe he wants to take a look at the active pipe, and he wants to know, all right, which sales opportunities are we working on to close this month here? So I can easily go here on expected order and just see, all right, what are we closing now in February? So let me actually take do it like that instead. Perfect. So here we can see we only have 2 deals that we think we're gonna close in February, which is really not enough, and we have to probably start working a little bit more on it. And here I can, maybe if I take away the filter, I can easily check, all right, which process do we have in the quote status that we do not have an expected order on, that are, for example, empty. So we have quite a few. So that means that the sales representative here have to do some work on updating their forecasting. So if I just take myself here, let's see, I have a couple of deals here that are in quotation that I have to update. And here I can work with my one-to-ones as sales manager to my sales reps and help them navigate, all right, which sales process we're going to follow. Is this a process that I really want to focus on? And that helps us with the coaching part of it, as well as the forecasting one. And that will help you get your sales reps that are really, really good to sell more, and the sales reps that need a little bit of a push to actually get the push and the coaching that they need in order to succeed. Very well. Let's do a small recap of the sales part of the machinery industry. So there are a lot more things going on here, but I just thought that we're going to touch on a few small parts here. So for the sales manager, it's easy to track, to see where are we in each process, in each quotation, in each sales opportunity. Easily to coach, see, all right, where do we have to focus in order to succeed, to reach our goals? Do we have a lot of quotation but we're not following up on them? All right, then we have to work on that. Otherwise, if we do not have, we cannot close them, maybe we need some training on, all right, how do we package our products, or how do we pitch them, or how do we create value to our customers? We can gain insights. We get a full 360-degree picture of all our customers, all our activities, and how we're going to perform, which will help you plan and make strategic decisions. And of course, improve. Share the knowledge between teams. You're going to be working with both service, aftermarket, and sales, and compare all of them together at the same time. Very well. Now we're going to have a small look on how the service manager and the field service representative are going to be working in Lime. So here we go. For the service manager, what you want to go do is get your daily overview over the schedule over the schedule of your field service team. You want to act on the most critical information and help prioritize what are we going to do today, and of course delegate the work to the correct resource, and of course be able to follow up and get the insight quite easily without really having to do a lot of manual calling and emailing and checking up on the field service representative. Everything will be in the same system. So let's take a look on how easy that is with the help of Lime CRM. One small second here. I'm just gonna do this here. There we go. So as a sales manager, maybe I want to have a different start page than the sales reps, for example. And what we want to do here is we know that we have gotten a few new tickets in, and we have a few work orders that we need to assign. So how do we do that? I can easily, in my dashboard here, I can see that I have 2 unassigned work orders. So let's assign them to a field service worker. So here I just press the button and I can get a calendar overview, a resource overview over all our resources within our service department. So let me take that on the weekly review. So here we have a new work order for a service on the machine that will not start. So we have to actually send somebody out to check out on the machine. All information about the service I can find, all the work order I can find here with addresses, what needs to be done, etc. Which machine it's connected to, documents, and the important parts that we need to do. And now we know that this is in the area of Stockholm, so let us see which resources we have close to the Stockholm area. Since the machine won't start, this is quite a high priority, so we're gonna probably want to do it on Monday as soon as possible. So we see here that Jonas is on vacation, so we kind of have to change things a little bit here. So there we go. We can take this away from Jonas and give it to Daniel, and then this one will be set here as well. But I know that I can see here that Anders doesn't really have much to do this Monday, so I'm gonna put the work order from in, and I think this one is gonna take from about 9 to 12. And just like that, I can just easily save it, and my work as an service manager planning this is basically done already. I can of course follow up and do other stuff that needs to be done. But now let's take a look on how this looks for the field service representative that has just gotten a new work order on a Monday morning. So he will probably be working on his phone. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna go into the phone application or console. I'm sorry for that. Let me take a look. Yes, there we go. So now this field server will be working on his phone on the way to work. So you can get into the company car and drive off to the first work order. Here he will get a list of all his open work orders that he has to take care of, and of course this can be prioritized on, for example, if it's an urgent one or if it's something that is planned or etc. This can easily be controlled. So now he has a few he has a few work orders that he has to take care of, but he can do that. He's working quite well. So let's take here let's start on, oops, sorry. So back to how the field worker, field service representative work. On the way to work, he has to take a look here. All right, we have an urgent work order. The machine is down, it's not working. Perfect. Over here, he has his work order. He knows where it is. So if I press this one, it will just open the his Google, and he will know where he is on his phone. So he can easily find the way to the place he has to be. Now back to the work order. He has all the information he needs in order to do it. He has all the history. He can see what kind of articles he has, documents if he needs that, and of course what kind of protocols he has to do. And the protocols here are quite easy to work with, and of course he can choose out of more protocols if there are more stuff that he has to do. That when he goes out and finds out, all right, we have an electrical failure, let's check this one out as well. So you can just check these ones out, just follow up and make everything sure that everything is all right on the protocols, and we're following the way to work. And of course, when he's done with his work, he probably wants to register a few articles that he's been using. So we easily just like press here, choose the article type. So now we're gonna have the time. We had some travel time. We spent about 2 hours in travel. We actually had some working time. We had that 3 hours. The machine, etc. And of course, he used a few materials, so he can easily search this one here. So 4, 5, 6, we have a material called, which is this one, and we use this one is a set price of 100, etc. And here he can add anything he wants, really. Maybe aftermarket, it may be a service, it may be some oil change, etc. And he can take a look at this one as well here to just make sure that everything is right. And everything looks good. Now he has registered the articles, and of course he's going to take a few, add a few pictures onto here. On his phone, he will just take a few pictures, and then he's good to go. And just like that, he just finishes the work order. He has registered the protocols, gone through the checklist. He has registered a picture of his work, and of course, this is the article time. And just like we did with the quote, he can easily now create a service document or a service report and send that out. And of course, if you want to connect your line with your ERP, now we may even send the articles as that are basically ready for invoicing, so we can get our money. And that's about it. He doesn't really need to do anything else. Now he just goes back onto his start page on the phone and just jumps into his next work order, just like that. So if we go back and take a look at the, give me a second, on what we have done here, and we take a look at the field service representative, he easily got a daily overview of his to-dos and work orders already on the phone, on the way to work. He easily found his next destination, got an overview of what he has to do. He followed the service protocols, he registers the article and materials, and of course, he closed his work order and sent out the service report. And of course, easily jumps into his next work. Now, if we think a little bit again about the service manager, he doesn't really need to do anything else here than just check that the work has been done. And he just goes back into the work order and just sees that it's ticked off. It's quite easy to follow, very easy to work with, and it saves, it increases the productivity of the field service workers. It increases our hit rates when we first go out into the service, so that we know that we have everything ready. And of course, it helps us work more proactively with sales, as we can easily set up sales opportunities as well and work together as a team. Now, this was a very short webinar, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to take a closer look on the specific workflows or other parts of Lime, contact us down here or add your information at the form, and the sales representative will give you a call. Thank you very much from my part, and hope I see you again.